Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, today we're tackling something you've probably seen, well, everywhere. Splashed across smoothie bowls, packed into supplements.
Spirulina.
Exactly, spirulina. It's hailed as this amazing superfood, right? A nutritional powerhouse. But, let's be honest, for a lot of us, it's also a bit of a head-scratcher.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is this vibrant green, or actually blue-green stuff? And with all the hype, what can it really do for you? Or maybe even for the planet? So, our mission today, let's cut through that noise. We're diving deep, looking at a bunch of fascinating sources. We want to unearth the science, clear up some confusion.
And get to the facts.
Right, give you a really solid understanding of spirulina, what makes it tick, what it delivers, and what you need to know before you think about using it. Okay, let's unpack this. So right off the bat, there's this, well, it seems like an identity crisis almost.
Yeah.
The name spirulina itself is a bit slippery, isn't it?
It absolutely is, yeah. When we talk about spirulina as like a dietary supplement that you buy,
Right.
we're almost always talking about an extract from Erythrospira. That's a specific type of cyanobacteria.
Okay.
But historically, and even scientifically, there's another type called Crocalis that also had the name spirulina. They both got called that because they have this very distinctive kind of beautiful spiral shape. But later, scientists figured out, wait, these are actually quite different.
And that difference matters.
Oh, hugely, because the Crocalis type, not edible for us humans, and it doesn't have some of the key compounds we're looking for.
Got it. So these cyanobacteria, I feel like I remember them being called something else back in the day. Blue-green algae.
You're spot on, yeah. Until the late 80s, blue-green algae was the common term. They're in this really interesting biological spot. Think of them as bacteria.
Okay.
But, and this is the cool part, they can do photosynthesis, like plants.
Wow.
They're prokaryotic, so no nucleus, but super efficient at using sunlight for energy. And that vibrant blue-green color, it comes from special pigment.
And those pigments are important.
Very. We'll definitely get into that. They're a big part of the health benefits. These organisms are tiny, microscopic, actually. You only really see them when they form these big blooms.
Right. You see pictures of that sometimes.
Exactly. And that happens under specific conditions. Warm water, usually 15-30 Celsius, lots of nutrients like nitrates and phosphates, and sort of alkaline water, gentle currents. That's why you find them in tropical lakes, brackish waters, places like that.
Okay, so just to be crystal clear for our deep dive today,
Yeah.
when we say spirulina, we really mean Arthrospira, the supplement kind.
That's the one, yeah.
And that's critical because of what's in it, nutritionally speaking.
Precisely. The Arthrospira strain is the one that's edible for humans, for animals too. And it's unique because it contains gamma-linolenic acid, GLA.
GLA. Okay, what's special about that?
Well, it's not just a fancy name. GLA is a crucial precursor, a building block for essential fatty acids, things like EPA and DHA.
Ah, the ones you hear about for inflammation and cell health.
Exactly those. Super important, so that tiny biological difference, it changes everything for human consumption.
And this stuff isn't new, right? It's not like some health trend that just popped up.
Oh, far from it. Not at all. We have records suggesting spirulina-enriched foods were eaten centuries ago. Possibly even way back in the Egyptian Empire, there are mentions.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. But it really hit the kind of modern spotlight in the 20th century, especially after it's rediscovered, you could say, in Central Africa. That led to widespread use starting around the 1970s.
Okay.
And what really highlights its value is the global recognition it gets now. In 2008, the FAO,
The UN Food and Agriculture Organization.
that's the one, they officially declared spirulina a highly valuable food resource, specifically for fighting malnutrition and supporting economic empowerment, especially in developing nations.
That's huge.
It is. And even space agencies like NASA and the European Space Agency, they're looking into it.
For astronauts.
Yeah, as a compact, nutrient-dense food for long missions. It's not just hype, it really speaks to its incredible potential.
Okay, so with that kind of history and that level of endorsement,
Yeah.
let's get down to brass tacks. What does this actually mean for your health? What's in it that gives it this superfood reputation?
It's a great question because you look at it and you think, how can something so seemingly simple be so packed? Well, macronutrient-wise, it's a protein powerhouse.
How much protein are we talking?
Almost 60% protein by weight, roughly.
60%. Wow, that's more than beef, right? Or soy.
Definitely. And it's what we call high biological value protein, meaning it has all the essential amino acids your body needs.
Okay, all of them.
Plus, and this is key for digestion, it doesn't have that tough cellulose cell wall you find in a lot of plant proteins.
Ah, so it's easier for your body to actually use the
Much
protein.
easier, very digestible, very absorbable. It also provides around 24–25% carbs and maybe 5–14% fats. That fat content can vary a bit with light exposure, how it stores energy.
So that profile alone sounds pretty impressive, especially for malnutrition.
Absolutely invaluable in those contexts, yeah.
But beyond the big three protein, carbs, fats, what about the micronutrients? Does it really deliver that cocktail of vitamins and minerals people talk about?
Oh, absolutely. It's a very broad spectrum. Vitamins-wise, it's packed with vitamin A, but in the form of beta-carotene.
Okay, the precursor.
Right. And several B vitamins, B1, B2, B3, B6, plus vitamin E, which is a really potent antioxidant.
No.
But here's where it gets a little tricky.
Ah, I think I know where you're going. The B12 issue.
Exactly.
I've heard so many conflicting things. Is spirulina a good source of vitamin B12 or not? Can you clear that one up for us?
Yeah, you've really hit on one of the most crucial kind of nuances,
Oh.
and it causes a lot of confusion. Spirulina does contain substances that are chemically similar to vitamin B12.
Similar, but not the same.
Precisely. They're often what we call analogs or inactive forms. They just don't have the same biological activity, the same effect as true absorbable B12 for humans. So even though it might show up looking like B12 on a nutrient panel, if someone has a genuine B12 deficiency, spirulina just isn't the ideal primary supplement. It won't fix it.
That is a really important clarification. So, okay, it won't replace a B12 supplement if you really need one. But does it still offer any kind of blood-related benefits, even without that active B12?
It does, actually, and this is where the nuance is, well, fascinating. Even without providing active B12, studies show spirulina can still help improve red blood cell counts.
Really?
Yeah, and hemoglobin levels, too, so it can be beneficial in certain types of anemia or other blood deficits, just not as a direct B12 source. It's like a blood builder in its own right, but for different reasons.
Interesting. Okay. And what about those pigments? The things that give it that distinctive blue-green color, are they just pretty, or do they do something too?
Oh, they're definitely not just for show. These pigments are real powerhouse compounds. The main blue one is called phycocyanin, gives it that unique blue tint.
It's phycocyanin. Got it.
What makes phycocyanin really stand out, chemically speaking, is its structure. It acts like a reservoir for nitrogen atoms.
Okay, nitrogen atoms. Why is that important?
Because that specific structure allows them to effectively bind onto heavy metals.
Bind onto them, like for detox.
Exactly. It assists in their safe removal from the body. It helps the detoxification process. That's a really key advantage.
Wow.
And spirulina also has xanthine. That's a yellow pigment, good for eye health. And chlorophyll, of course, another vital antioxidant for overall well-being. So yeah, the color itself is like a signal flare for all these protective compounds inside.
All right, this is making sense. We know what it is, roughly, and what's packed inside. Now, the big question, why should you, our listener, care? Let's zoom right in on the specific health benefits that make spirulina such a standout.
Well, one of the beautiful things about spirulina, and maybe a bit surprising, is its dual impact. It's not just about your personal well-being. It's also got implications for global sustainability. Its cultivation needs way less water than many other crops.
That's huge right there.
It is, and it can be grown year-round. Plus, it thrives in conditions where maybe traditional crops would struggle. So this makes it a really powerful, accessible resource, like the FAO recognized, right, for empowering communities facing agricultural, nutritional challenges worldwide. It's definitely food for thought, isn't it?
It really is. That's a powerful collective benefit. But let's bring it back to the individual. For your health journey, if someone's looking for, say, a targeted boost, what can spirulina specifically do?
Okay, yeah. For starters, its really rich, diverse makeup supports several key body functions, often in ways that surprise people. Let's start with brain and nervous system health. Remember that GLA we talked about?
Amylinoleic acid, yeah.
Right. It acts as a precursor to DHA. And these fatty acids are just fundamental, absolutely critical for cognitive development, yes, but also for maintaining the health of your brain and nervous system throughout your whole life. Think of it like a building block for sharper thinking, robust neurological function. Then there's cardiovascular health. This is a big one. Scientific studies, actual research has shown spirulina can help improve lipid profiles.
Meaning cholesterol.
Triglycerides. Exactly, helping manage those levels. But maybe even more critically, it seems to inhibit platelet aggregation.
Platelet aggregation.
Right.
That's about blood clots, right?
Precisely. It makes platelets less sticky, basically, which is vital for preventing blood clots from forming, reducing the risk of thrombosis. That's a major, often silent threat to heart health. So it's not just about adding good stuff, but helping prevent bad stuff too. Moving on to your immune system. Spirulina acts as a potent enhancer here. It's been shown to boost the number of white blood cells.
The fighters?
The fires, yeah. And significantly enhance the function of what are called natural killer cells, or NK cells.
NK cells. What do they do specifically?
Think of them as your body's elite frontline defenders. They actively seek out and destroy cancerous cells and cells infected with viruses. This is a really crucial area in modern immunotherapy research.
And spirulina helps them.
It helps your body's own NK cells do their job better. Helps your body do what it's naturally designed to do.
So, wow, it's not just a general immune boost. It actually strengthens some very specific, high-impact immune players. That feels significant.
Right.
What about, well, things like anti-aging or even cancer support?
Yeah. Well, given everything we just mentioned, the immune boost, the cardiovascular support, the antioxidants, spirulina is definitely considered beneficial for general anti-aging, helping protect cells from damage over time.
Makes sense.
Now, in the context of cancer treatment, and this is important, it's not a standalone cure, obviously.
Of course.
But the research suggests it can be a powerful adjunct, a supportive player alongside traditional therapies. By enhancing those NK cells, it actually aligns quite well with some cutting-edge immunotherapy approaches. And furthermore, some studies indicate it shows real promise in protecting against those really debilitating side effects of chemo and radiotherapy.
Like what kind of protection?
It seems to help improve blood cell synthesis, making new blood cells and boosting hemoglobin levels. This could help safeguard the bone marrow and peripheral blood, which often take a hit. There's even evidence suggesting it helps protect the kidneys from harsh chemo drugs. And specific studies have even pointed towards protection against oral cancer. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If a simple, natural supplement can support the body so robustly during such intense challenges, what untapped potential is there? And this leads us nicely into inflammation modulation, those essential fatty acids again.
GLA and the others.
Right. They actively help modulate inflammation. And we now recognize that chronic low-grade inflammation is really the underlying driver of so many modern chronic diseases, heart disease, cancer, autoimmune conditions. You name it.
So by helping calm that systemic inflammation,
it's addressing a potential root cause of a lot of health issues. Yeah. Now, one of its most, I think, striking abilities is in heavy metal detoxification. Remember phycocyanin?
the blue pigment that binds to metals.
Yes, exactly. Its unique structure allows spirulina to bind on to heavy metals like cesium, arsenic, lead, and basically help escort them out of your body, facilitate their elimination.
That's different from something like chlorella, right? I hear about that for detox, too.
It is different, and that's a great point. Chlorella, another interesting algae, is often used in chelation therapy, basically, removing heavy metals. Chlorella tends to trap heavy metals within its structure. Spirulina binds to them for expulsion. It's a subtle difference in mechanism, but important.
And why is this heavy metal binding so significant?
Well, think about neurological issues, things like dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. There's growing concern about the role heavy metal accumulation might play in those conditions. So this detoxification capacity could have really profound implications there.
That is a truly surprising insight. It's not just adding nutrients, it's actively helping your body remove harmful things. That feels like a distinct advantage.
Exactly. And these protective effects seem to extend to our most vital organs. For example, studies done in lab mice.
Okay.
They found that mice fed a diet rich in antioxidants, specifically, including spirulina, blueberries, and spinach, had less damage and recovered better after scientists induced a cerebral infarction, basically a mini-stroke.
Wow. So it suggests a protective effect on brain blood vessels.
It strongly suggests that, a significant protective effect on cerebrovascular health. Imagine the potential implications for human health down the line. And let's not forget ocular health, eye health, that xanthine pigment we mentioned.
The yellow one.
Right. It specifically protects retinal cells, and particularly the macula, the area responsible for your sharpest vision. So it could be a beneficial supplement for helping maintain clear vision as we age.
It really does seem to touch on almost every system in the body. Are there any other sort of notable benefits listeners should know about?
Yes, absolutely. The list keeps going. It's been linked to reducing pain, possibly because those essential fatty acids influence prostaglandins, which are compounds involved in pain and inflammation signaling.
Interesting.
It also shows some antiviral effects. There are even studies suggesting potential benefits related to HIV infection, though more research is needed there. Athletes might be interested.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Potential to improve physical performance and strength. There's also evidence it offers protection to the liver from certain diseases, and it might even help alleviate common allergy symptoms like rhinitis and asthma.
Okay, wow. With that incredibly wide array of effects, it genuinely seems to earn that superfood title. But with all these amazing benefits, you naturally have to ask, are there any downsides? Any precautions? Important things you need to watch out for before maybe jumping in and adding spirulina to your routine?
Absolutely. That's a really important question. While it's generally very well tolerated by most people, it's definitely not for everyone.
Okay, who should be cautious?
Well, certain individuals should definitely exercise caution or maybe avoid it altogether. This would
Hmm.
include anyone with a known allergy to seafood or iodine or, of course, to spirulina itself.
Makes sense.
Pregnant and breastfeeding women should always, always consult their doctor first. That's standard advice, but important here too. And also, individuals with thyroid conditions, whether it's hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism,
Why the thyroid?
because spirulina can potentially impact metabolism, and the thyroid is central to regulating that. So definitely check with your doctor if you have any thyroid issues.
Good to know. And for people who do decide to try it, are there any maybe mild discomforts or side effects they might experience at the beginning?
Yes, sometimes. Some people might experience minor, usually temporary side effects. And often these are actually signs that your body is adjusting related to its metabolic activation and those detoxification effects we talked about.
Like what kind of signs?
Well, you might experience a very slight fever, maybe feel a little bit jittery or nervous just due to that increased metabolism. Some mild gastrointestinal stuff is possible, like a bit of gas.
Okay.
Or even, don't be alarmed, dark green stools. That's usually just the pigments passing through and your body maybe expelling some toxins.
Right. Not necessarily a bad sign then.
Not necessarily. Occasionally people report some skin itching too, and that could also be related to toxins being eliminated through the skin, which is a major excretory organ.
Ah,
So the key question becomes, how do you tell the difference between a normal temporary detox reaction and, say, a genuine intolerance or allergy?
good question. How do you know?
Well, if the itching is severe, or if it persists for more than a few days, or if you just suspect it's more than just a temporary adjustment, it's really crucial to stop taking it and check in with your doctor or healthcare provider. Don't just push through if it feels wrong.
That is critical advice.
Uh.
Okay, so if someone listens to all this, they've checked the precautions, and they're thinking, right, I want to give this a try. What forms does it come in?
Mhm.
And importantly, how do they figure out the right dosage for themselves?
Good questions. Spirulina is available in quite a few convenient forms. You can get capsules, tablets, powders you can mix into things.
Like smoothies.
Exactly. Or even dried flakes. So lots of options depending on your preference. However, and this is another really, really important point, the recommended dosages you see out there vary wildly.
Yeah, wildly.
I mean, you'll see recommendations anywhere from just 2 grams a day all the way up to 20 grams a day. And in some specific therapeutic contexts, maybe even up to 60 grams.
Wow, that's a huge range.
It's enormous. And that massive range really highlights the critical need for personalized guidance. It is highly important, I can't stress this enough, to consult with a competent healthcare professional.
Like your doctor. Or,
Your doctor or a registered dietitian, a qualified nutritionist, someone who understands your individual health profile, any existing conditions you have, what your goals are. They can help determine the appropriate dosage specifically tailored to you. Please, don't just guess based on something you read online. Get professional advice.
that seems like essential advice for any potent supplement, really. Well, we have certainly taken a comprehensive deep dive into spirulina today, haven't we?
We really have.
We've uncovered its intriguing biological identity, cleared up some of those common misconceptions, especially around B12, explored its pretty incredible nutritional profile and really delved into the wide-ranging potential benefits. Benefits for your personal health, yes, but also, surprisingly, for global sustainability too.
Indeed, you look at its journey from ancient origins right up to modern endorsements from organizations like the FAO, even space agencies. Spirulina undeniably makes a very compelling case for that superfood status.
It really does.
But as we've discussed, like with any powerful supplement, the real key to harnessing its full potential safely, effectively, it lies in understanding the nuances, right? Acknowledging potential interactions, and, crucially, getting that personalized guidance for dosage. It's a marvel of nature for sure, but an informed approach is just paramount.
So thinking about its incredible history, that potent nutritional makeup, and its really far-reaching potential for individuals, for the planet,
Hmm.
perhaps the real question isn't whether spirulina is a superfood. Maybe it's more about how we, as a global community and as individuals, making choices for our health.
Hmm.
How can we responsibly and sustainably integrate this tiny ancient organism into our rapidly changing world to truly maximize all those benefits?
That's a great thought to leave people with.
Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep making those informed choices for your health. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive.